Hello, it's Victor Purton. Welcome to this episode of the Australian Leadership Project. Today we're joined by Cheryl Batagol, Chairman of the Environment Protection Authority, Victoria. Cheryl, thank you for joining us. What do you think are the unique qualities of Australian leadership?
I think everybody says this, but I think egalitarianism is my first one. And I think it comes from our history, because although we're an ancient country, the history of migration to Australia, from its earliest Anglo-Celtic migration, right from the First Fleet and so on, and has influenced us. And it's influenced us to be a society that is as classless as it gets, and particularly then the waves of migration after particularly the Second World War and going on to now has meant that we're a society that is very egalitarian. There isn't a structured class system in Australia. And I think about the things that come from nature, from what nature tells us is that diversity is the absolute key to success. So biodiversity or genetic diversity. And I think diversity is the key to our success. I think one of the other things that I think of Australian leaders, when I'm talking about leadership, of course I'm talking about it in business in particular, but it applies across the board, but it's that values-based leadership. So I think Australians, taking from the egalitarian nature of our leadership, I think we also, values-based leadership sits very well with us. So we care about our people, we care about their welfare beyond the workplace, and we also try to put in place organisational cultures that allow our people to feel as if they can make decisions, take risks, be innovative, and be supported in that they're in a team of people that are making a difference. And Australian leadership, in the main, is actually really good at putting that in place. I think the other thing that I think that Australian leadership is very good at is communication. So I don't see a lot of Australian leaders sitting in the best office in the building and staying there from 8 until 6. I see them wandering through the workplace. I see them talking to staff. And I see formal communication means, for instance, the weekly newsletter from a CEO, which says, this is what we're doing, and importantly, this is why we're doing it. We don't take well in Australia to authority, and so often we challenge authority. So a way around that goes to communication. This is what we're doing. This is why we're communicating about our strategy or what we're doing this month or what our plans are for the next 5 years. This is why we would like your opinion, we'd like you to join us. So I think communication is another key part of that.
Cheryl, what do Australians want of their leaders?
I think Australians want their leaders to be honest. There's a bit of jargon around now which says authentic, but they want them to be honest. I think when we get diverted from an individual who doesn't speak their mind, we're really good as Australians in getting the fact that they're not speaking to us truthfully. So I think most of all, Australians want authentic, honest leaders who speak their mind. And if they're elected leaders, so be it. If they're leaders that are not elected in the workplace, many of the most successful leaders are the leaders that can stand in front of a group of people and talk about honestly what they think, what they feel, because I think that's the other thing, and how you would get involved. That honesty is probably primary. I think, though, what we want of our leaders is to create an environment where we can all thrive. Each individual within a society, within a workplace, wants to make a difference. It's just inherent in us. And so we want our leadership to create that environment where we can thrive. That means how can we actually get on and do our work and not waiting for someone to give us a blue tick or a red cross? How do we get on and just do it? How do we use the inherent innovation within us to make a difference in what we're doing, make a decision and deliver that? And furthermore, we want our leadership to create a space for us that is safe to work in and where we feel appreciated.
Cheryl, what are your favourite stories of Australian leadership?
Look, there's a couple I think that I've noted. One, Andrew Twiggy Forrest, a successful entrepreneur, leader in anybody's language, and has clearly made a lot of money. He's probably lost a lot of money on the way through, but he's successful. What he's done though personally is to think about Indigenous disadvantage, and he's woven it through his business, and he's effectively made a place within the businesses that he operates to address an issue that's really important. And so I think when you talk about leadership and what does that mean, it means that something that is personal to you and a difference that you want to make, you take it on like in a backpack on your journey with you, and you make a difference on the way through. So it can be completely a part of what you do. Kate Jenkins is another person. She's the Sex Discrimination Commissioner National Sex Discrimination Commissioner, formerly the Victorian Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commissioner. Kate's a lawyer. She has a conviction about gender, but more broader than that, about discrimination. And she has made that now her life's work, and she does what is really difficult work in a way that gently confronts us about the changes that we need to make. And I love the way she does it, because it's not you are bad, it's here is a different way of going about it. So in my mind, that sort of leadership, again, very much values-based, very much around how could I make a difference, and what is the style that I will use in really confronting a significant issue.
Thanks, Cheryl. That is a terrific contribution to the Australian Leadership Project. We're glad you've joined us on this project, and we welcome any contributions from those of you watching this video. Come to www.australianleadership.com and make your contributions to the leaders you admire and the qualities you believe are important in Australian leadership.